There is this question, though, around Democrats versus Republicans. And you have people like Kanye West who's saying, listen, love you guys and Democrats.
Excuse me 1 second.
Why don't you just put him on FaceTime?
Well, you know where I'm going with this. Kanye says that, it's time out for Democrats. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, first of all, Kanye is an artist, man.
Yes.
And he's a genius.
Absolutely.
Whatever he's saying right now, I think that the angle he's seeing things from is about the division that he sees. And he's not inconsistent with what he's saying. For instance, a decade ago, I read a quote where he said he wanted to take the Confederate flag and reappropriate it some other different kind of way. I mean, it's a MAGA hat, whatever, man. The thing that's scary about this presidency is after it. I don't know if you've been married before or had a girlfriend and said something in a fight that was so wrong, and then after that, we still family, we still around each other, but man, I sure did say all that shit, didn't I? And I'm not mad at Kanye. That's my brother. I love him. I support him. I buy his albums.
No claps? Oh, man, that was rough.
I know, whether people clap or not. But, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I just trust him as a person of intent. But, he shouldn't say all that shit, but...
But let me take it on the argument then, so to take his personality out of it. What about the argument he's making, which is that, it's almost, you're in this PC prison, you can't say anything, and you're not allowed to vote for Republicans if you're African American. What's your argument to people who feel like it's time to give Republicans a chance? It's an argument being made by a minority.
But I'll say this: I'm not a partisan dude. If he ran as a Republican, I'd vote Republican. If I got a chance to vote for somebody like this, I'm voting for somebody.
This isn't about party. This is about ideas.
That's right.
The ideas have kind of migrated from party to party. The Democrats used to be much more conservative. Today, however, unfortunately, there's only one party that stands for civil rights. There's only one party that stands for environmental protection. And we have to, as voters, really listen to the ideas. What I say to folks is that look, the war on drugs has failed. Trickle-down economics has failed. We have to have the courage to put ideas on the table that actually lift up working families, white, black, brown, Native American, Asian American. We've got to move beyond the labels of party and look at ideas, but let's also be clear. Donald Trump's party is Donald Trump's party. And what they stand for right now, we have to fight with everything we have.
The other big issue, we're talking about race, talking about class, gender. We're now in a situation where a whole new set of voices is coming forward. How do you guys look at the role of this new movement for women's empowerment, the Me Too movement, et cetera?
I hope it succeeds. What we all have to realize is that we all have to stand up in this moment and say that these women who have the courage to step forward, these men in many places, the courage to step forward who were sexually assaulted as well, we have to believe survivors. We have to have their back, and we have to figure out how we finally leap forward. Because we've been staying stuck for a long time. It shattered a lot of lives, and enough is enough.
Yeah, I think that for most men, especially the men that I'm talking to, one, I'll tell you that as a movement, it's effective. Like in Hollywood, the man, they are buttoning up.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Which is good.
It's better than good. It's necessary. Two, I'll say that there's a lot of men that are learning for the first time the extent of the plight of the women in their lives.
We're just learning that consent is important. Most of our states, they don't teach consent when they teach sex ed. Think about that.
That's right. And this is a tough discussion, but it needs to be had. Yeah. And people need to learn the lessons, and we need to listen to one another. Yeah. I think that some people are so threatened by the movement, or they're so worried about it, that they're not hearing the messaging behind it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's an idea, this time has come, and we'll see.
Did you watch the Kavanaugh testimony, the hearings, all that kind of stuff?
I've seen highlights. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. What was your take and impression? Could you imagine an African American or a female yelling at them senators like that?
Oh, you mean the way that Kavanaugh yelled?
Yeah. Or any of it.
You know, man, I'm from this area. Like, I grew up around here, and the sad thing about it is, I believe, sadly, if that woman had gone to the police in 1982 and told them exactly what she had told the Senate, that he wouldn't have gone to jail. Not in that place, not in that time, Not with no name like Brett Kavanaugh. It was daunting. It also made me sad that this is a national discussion that's happening during a Supreme Court nominee's hearing. It's a tough time for this country, man.
Famously on SNL, you said you wanted to give Trump a chance, but you also wanted to make sure that he gave disenfranchised people a chance. Looking at the Trump presidency almost 2 years in, do you feel that he gave disenfranchised people a chance?
It's hard to tell where Trump ends and his constituents begin, but I think that the rhetoric of his presidency is repugnant. I just don't like the way he talks. I don't like, there's certain, we're living in a time where there's got to be a little more cultural sensitivity. And even a guy like me that's just writing jokes, I have to listen more than I've ever had to listen because the gripes are coming so fast and furious. And I'm not dismissive of people's gripes. It might sound like it on stage, but I listen. And as a president of a country that's as eclectic as ours, you look around your crowd, you see it's like a patchwork of people. I just think that he's speaking to a very small choir. And there's so many more opinions that just the way he engages the public is dismissive. I don't like talking bad about the president, but I said we should give him a chance because he's the president of the United States now. What choice do I have?
Right.
But I think you also apologized for that sometime later, didn't you?
Well, I don't ever apologize for jokes.
Yeah,
what I
you
said is, I said I shouldn't have said that shit.
Let's be clear, right? Let's be clear. Donald Trump is playing a politics of divide and conquer. He's picking scapegoats all day long. Muslims, Mexicans, immigrants, black folks, women, it goes on and on.
Yep.
Right? Occasionally, and so what do we do in that moment? We actually have to listen to each other. We have to talk to each other respectfully. We got to pull each other together because
Chimo, Mabaminda, na usawidi gozo, uya limbe, kumba na usawidi gozo, something is killing me slowly, and I'm feeling so lonely, but this thing I must to talk, all my people, they for bush, and our children are they go for school, but nobody fit to talk, We get to plenty, so many things where we really want to complain to you. See these people where they kill us are the people where they got for protect we, Our children, they for prison. Our leaders, they for prison. Now they calling for dialogue. Now who and who go talk, That's why we pray to God. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our people are dying, and our mothers are crying. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our children are dying, and our mothers are crying. Yeah, but they don't know what's up, oh, at all, oh. This war is bigger, and one man of it put a stop, oh. So make we put them all together, oh. I see plenty people don't die, and the house they went burn. I saw the people they did so far. Everybody running helter skelter. The children they did suffer. There is no food and shelter. Our children down the suffer, while the leaders living la vida loca. Yeah. So now we start with the go so Cameroon do. We get to plenty so many things where we really want complain to you. That yeah. These people where they kill us, not the people where they get for protect we, yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison, hey. But they be calling for dialogue. Now who and who got talk, oh. That's why we pray to God. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our people are dying, and our mothers are crying. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our children are dying, and our mothers are crying. Okay, let's take a minute of silence for our brothers and sisters who have lost their life in the struggle, and our mothers who are living in the bushes, our children suffering in the bushes with no food and no shelter. We pray that may peace return in our land, so that we can live in peace, peace forever. That's what we cry for. We get it plenty so many things where we really want to complain to you. See these people where they kill us, not the people where they get for protect we, yeah. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison, but they've been calling for dialogue. Now who and who got talk, oh. That's why we pray to God. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our people are dying, and our mothers are crying. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our children are dying, and our mothers are crying. Say we get to plenty so many things that we really won't complain to you. Daddy, yeah, everywhere. Now we go so. Mabaminda,